Hello there. I'm Brian Taylor, author of Always in Doubt. Wanted to take a minute to thank everybody who's been writing these warm letters. It seems like very heartfelt thanks and very deep appreciation. Again, I really never expected the book to have this sort of profound impact in people's personal lives. I'm very thrilled that it has. I'm very pleased that it has. I received a few letters that actually were including additional ways that people have started looking at things positively, and I just couldn't be more pleased with that. I'm glad that it's leading people to sit and get to the insights that actually start making some fundamental changes in the way that they approach things. Meditation as a practice can be one of the most rewarding, one of the most beneficial practices, as I explain in the book. Having a consistent, stable platform that you can do a lot of your evaluation from is absolutely crucial, because we color everything. We color everything as we go through life. We look at things from where we are. We look at how things are going from how we feel. And so if we don't learn to tend to how we feel, then as a rule, it's very difficult to maintain optimism. It's very difficult to stay hopeful. So it was very much my goal to make that abundantly clear. But I'm not the first person to make that abundantly clear. There were a lot of different writers on very similar subjects who say the very same thing. What they didn't say is what I really tried to aim the book at, about how to actually get there and when it's appropriate to actually get there. When it's appropriate to use meditation for insight, when it's appropriate to use meditation to change your outlook, how to approach applying an insight to your life, because you come to moments where you suddenly realize things, but then 2 hours later you're back to doing the same stuff. So it's about mindfulness in the end. Coming to a grand realization, particularly about things like conflict. I mean, you're going to find yourself in conflict with people, or just in conflict about things that you see people doing that you really don't need to engage yourself in. And the book really very succinctly teaches how to avoid doing that, how to master yourself, and how you apply your will to things, and basically how to get back to having your sanity on a regular basis. And I'm sure for a lot of us that's beneficial. Busy lives don't have to be crazy lives. They just don't. I found that the few people who I knew who were already professionals in their given careers found the book to be full of reminders that they said that they had heard that somewhere, or they felt that way at one point and never really lingered there long enough. And so stress, and doing away with it. It has more to do with the quality of your life than you could ever imagine. So take the closest look, if you haven't read the book already, take the closest look you can at how to apply these processes. Because even the mindfulness training processes in the book, I know I detail keeping an object with you for a great big period of time and keeping it where you can see it. At first glance, people start thinking immediately of ways to circumvent having to pay their attention to it. And of course, the book argues against that consistently. It says, no, don't even bother to try it unless you intend to actually dedicate yourself to this practice. If you can manage it, you'll find that you're measuring yourself always when you're putting yourself in relation to the responsibility for that. And you go through a lot of unusual personality quirks when it comes to keeping an eye on this thing, keeping something with you and not losing track of it at all times, keeping it within arm's reach of yourself. And then later in the book, it tells why. So at first reading, it might be a little hard to subscribe to. Well, why would I bother doing this? In the end, the reason why you're doing something like that, the reason why you're using a practice like that, is because the mindfulness is having your attention on things that you didn't originally want to have them on, but by choice. And if you can manage that, you'd be surprised how much more leverage you'll have in your life than you originally thought possible. You may shun away from doing a lot of things because of your natural built-in resistance to things you don't understand. But if you can bring yourself around to a point where you can do things, even if you don't think that they're uh, exactly what you plan to do in the first place, you open all kinds of doors for yourself. Certainly, you can give yourself more permission than you did before. So that's a big part of what mindfulness training is about. Paying attention to small pieces of a picture so that the big picture is assured. And that is a Zen thing. It's also a Buddhist thing. It's a very powerful lesson to learn, and it's what mastery and self-mastery are all about. So if you get the opportunity, definitely take a close look at my book, and yes, apply the practices, apply the principles. And I imagine some of you may very well write a very similar letter, and I look forward to that. You can always find me on the site, alwaysendow.com. You can always leave me messages there. There's ways to leave email messages through the site, and so I look forward to those as well. And namaste. Have a wonderful day, and thanks so much, those of you who have taken the time to actually write something back. I appreciate it. Bye.